when you're me, it's all question marks all over the place. You have to prove it again to yourself that you can actually do it.
None quite as pressurized as this one right here. Semifinals on the line. Today, it has been hard work at the office, and you can just see it on his face. These folks just do not want to see his Wimbledon end. Federer sent out in straights. And there'll be all sorts of questions about what lies ahead.
I haven't taken a decision yet, you know, where we go from here, but yeah. Clearly there's still a lot of things missing in my game that maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago were very simple and very normal for me to do nowadays. I gotta always put in the extra effort. Where's the body? Where's the knee? Where's the mind? There's always a weight that falls off your shoulders when a tournament is over. You just feel like the weight is gone and you're exhausted. Everything waits till Wimbledon is done. So Wimbledon is done now.
I think what's hanging in the air, these fans are wondering, is this it for Federer?
At my age, you're just never sure what's around the corner.
That was Roger Federer waving goodbye to the crowd, and he heads home to Switzerland today. The big three have dominated the sport. 55 of the last 64 majors, 55 of the last 70 Masters 1000 finals. They've been ranked number one for 847 weeks of the past 910. That is 16 years and 2 months. So who's the GOAT?
Are we talking?
It would mean a lot, of course, and that's what I'm aiming for, but still a very long way to the eventual match for the title.
Well, what those guys have done is incredible. I've spoken about it a lot. I mean, I don't think we will see this again. I know everyone's saying that, like when Sampras finished playing, it's like no one's ever beaten 14, but I can't see it. What they've done at like individual tournaments has been incredible.
I mean, it is extraordinary that we have done it. I never thought I would reach 20. You know, I was hoping I was going to maybe win one in my career, and I think maybe it's the same for Novak and Rafa. And then this career ends up being the way it is, right?
You know, I'll always call Roger as a pure tennis player, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But when it's all said and done, Novak will have the stats.
In the last probably 6-7 years, I've adapted my game very nicely to grass. I think I've improved a lot. That wasn't the case at the beginning stages of my career, so I'm excited for what's ahead of me.
I want to bring the whole team in, and I'm going to mute this kind man to my left for just a moment. He jumped his turn. It's the water cooler talk that no one gets enough of. Who is the GOAT? John McEnroe, start with you.
Well, I think Murray said it just right. I don't think you're going to see it again for generations to come. I think Kyrgios was absolutely right for a change. I'm just kidding, Nick. But, you know, the most beautiful, most elegant player, the Baryshnikov of our sport, greatest shot maker I ever heard. But I also agree that when all is said and done, when we're counting the majors, you're going to see this man, Novak Djokovic, is going to have the greatest record and a winning record over both guys. And so, I mean, it's who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? I mean, the beauty of the three guys we've been watching is that they've been playing at the same time, unlike some of the other sports where it's harder to compare. So it's been quite an extraordinary time. I thought I was part of a great time back in the 80s, and, you know, it was 70s, 80s, Borg, Connors, myself, Lendl. Seemed like a magical time. This has taken it. I mean, obviously Sampras had the 14, Agassi was amazing, but this is like a whole new level that no one expected. So we have to enjoy each and every moment. Since Roger seems to be the first to go, Patrick, shouldn't we call him the greatest of all time? Doesn't he deserve that, at least temporarily?
I think he, to me, he's still the greatest I've ever seen on this surface in his prime. When he's at his absolute best on grass, I would take Federer over anyone. That would include Djokovic at his very best, at least on this surface on a grass court. But there's no doubt that Djokovic is on his way to being the clear-cut greatest of all time, because these players in this day and in this era, it is about the numbers. It is about racking up the big titles. Djokovic is not only doing that in the majors, but in the other events as well. And as John said, he's got the clear edge in head-to-head over both Rafa and Roger.
agree with all that, and also it needed somebody to blaze the trail, right? And Roger Federer was able to do that with that amazing run to win all these majors. So certainly for a big period of time there, he raised the level of the game, professionalism, the way he worked, the way he took care of his body, the way he played into his 30s, and everybody has been dragged along with him. So give him a lot of credit for that, but I agree that Novak has a real chance of winning the Grand Slam this year, and you can pretty much etch it in stone after that.
Well, they pushed each other incredibly, but if Novak wins here, he'll be tied at 20 with the other two. That'll already, to me, elevate him. And I think over the next 12 slams, I think he wins another 5 to 7, and he smashes Margaret Court's record, and he will be the all-time leader, man or woman, in slams. I think Rafa maybe wins another one, but Novak, within the next 3 years, will have astronomical numbers that you just cannot argue, because the Fed fans and the Rafa fans get irrational about some of these things. Novak, with the smallest fan base, his numbers will be astronomical.
Chrissy, what do you think? I mean, in your prime, you were in the middle of these discussions, or are all of us just